The screams of rage and execration grew louder as the two young women fell from the roof of the building and into the piles of garbage in the alley below. The red-headed teenage girl in the purple top and black flared pants landed in the dumpster, the lid slamming shut once she hit. While the older black-haired woman in the green and black jumpsuit managed a not-so-safe landing in the pile of the old cardboard boxes and garbage bags. Shigo was the first one to her feet. She flared up one of her fists and is shrouded in the green bioplasmic energy field. She strode over to the dumpster and placed her unpowered hand on the lid. "All right, Kimmy. Time for more pain," she growled. Flinging the lid open, she reached in and pulled the teen hero that she had fought many times before. Kim Possible's expression was dazed as Shigo hauled her out of the dumpster. The two had been fighting for quite some time on the Paris rooftops, and the extraction couple both fell down and had rung the bells slightly. Shigo clicked her tongue. "Aw, don't pass out on me now, Kimmy. We're just getting started." Kim brought her feet up to her and kicked Shigo in the stomach. The supervillain huffed as the air was forced from her lungs as she dropped Kim, who scurried down the alley and got to her feet. Kim forced her tired limbs into a fighting stance as Shigo rose to her feet on the other end of the alley. The villainess turned towards Kim, hands glowing as she took slow, deliberate steps towards her nemesis. "Okay, now I've put you up with a lot of shit during our fights, Kimmy," Shigo said in a dangerous tone of voice. "But that was just plain dirty." "Like you wouldn't do the same thing," Kim snorted. "She's boring. She's whining. Turn her over to me and she's dying." "Shut up," Kim whispered fiercely. Down the alley, Shigo growled. "Look who's getting bossy all of a sudden." With that, Shigo leaped into the air and brought her fists down towards Kim's face. Kim crossed her forearms in front of her face to block the strike. Shigo screamed and brought her hands down on Kim's forearms, the momentum causing the two of them to collide and roll down the alley once more. They stopped rolling, and Shigo took the opportunity to pounce on Kim and pin her to the ground. Shigo grinned as Kim writhed underneath her, trying to escape. She brought her clawed fingers down towards Kim's closed eyes. "Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this," she purred. Suddenly, Kim stopped whimpering, and Shigo blinked as some sort of shift underneath her. She took it off and turned her attention back to Kim's eyes, which they were open, but something was off. In the dim light in the alleyway, they looked. "Purple?" Shigo asked. Her question was then answered with a swift knee to the groin, in which, despite commonly held male belief, it hurts. Shigo yelped and rolled off of Kim, trying desperately not to grab the area the pain was irradiating from. That pain went away quickly, was replaced with a new one as she grabbed Shigo's hair and began dragging her down the alley. Shigo tried to purchase the ground with her feet, but the owner of the hand was too strong for her. She flared up with one hand and fired a bolt on the other. The hand had loosened its grip just long enough for the bolt to shoot past, but then Shigo suddenly found a bit around her ankle. She had a very loose time to pound her this sudden change when she was flying through the air. She slammed onto the wall of the alley face first and fell to the ground, blood flowing from her nose. She got into a sitting position and dabbed her nose with her fingers. "Jesus, Kim, I think you broke it," Shigo said, her nose clogged with drying blood. "Aw," came a dark, husky, familiar voice. "Did I do that? I'm sorry." Shigo looked up from the source of the voice and frowned at the perplexement. It looked like Kim, but something was off. She looked a lot thinner, and her hair seemed darker and slightly different. "Kimmy?" Shigo asked. Uncertainty, she felt the unfamiliar sensation creeping up her spine. For the first time in as long as she could remember, Shigo was afraid. The girl who looked like Kim crouched down next to Shigo, placed a hand on Shigo's shoulder, and gave the villainess a downright sadistic grin. "Because," the girl continued, "I meant to do this." Shigo screamed in pain as she felt the bone snap in her shoulder and the muscles stretch as they weren't designed to. She felt her fingers in her hair as the pain returned to her head. She slammed into the brick wall behind her. The green stars but burst in front of her. She felt as her eyes began to roll at the back of her head. No, 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 came the mocking voice. The girl Shigo knew for a fact was not Kim Possible. Don't pass on me now, Shaggy. We're just getting started. Then there was a loud crack, and Shigo began screaming again. At least she did, until the girl decided to work on the soft tissue. Ron Stoppable entered the alley with the white later on at full speed. He had promised Wade and Kim that Kim would never be left unsupervised during a mission during the last 3 months. Thanks to Draken and his army of robotic chiropractors, Kim and Shigo had gone off on their own. Fortunately, Wade had set up a GPS signal from the communicator to his cell phone, so the only thing that delayed him was finding his way through the streets. He's off to Paris, where Shigo and Kim had last been traced. I swear, is it really that hard to lay out a city in a grid or something? Ron whined out loud as he turned to the alleyway. As he entered, he saw a female form lying on the ground in the middle of the alleyway. KP, is that you? He asked. Frowning, he cautiously made his way over to the woman on the ground. It couldn't be the first time she had fooled him by acting hurt. As Ron got closer, his vision adjusted to the minimum light in the alleyway. He just realized the woman wasn't her, and it wasn't Kim either. Ron had fought to throw up and knelt down next to Shigo's body. He forced himself to feel for a pulse, taking the care not to disturb her too much. The pulse proved to be unnecessary, as Shigo let out an unnarcious moan as soon as Ron touched her. Shigo twitched and jerked on the ground, limbs flailing uselessly in ways that they weren't supposed to. Shigo, stop! Ron cried. It's me, Ron! Shigo stopped moving, and had one eye slowly opened. Peering from the under-swollen lids, Ron sighed in relief. She's gone. Don't worry. She can't hurt you no more. I'm going to get you some help. Just try not to move too much, okay? Shigo's head moved in what Ron chose to believe was a nod. He pulled out his cell phone, dialed Wade's number. As it rang, he glanced around the alleyway and cursed as he saw the communicator lying on the ground just behind Shigo. Ron picked it up and turned it on. The oval screen lit up with a note. Sorry, Ronnie, she asked for it, but I didn't break the rules. Technically, gonna go out for a while. Don't wait up. FM. Ron's teeth clenched in anger as he pocketed the communicator and when he heard the line connect. Wade? He asked. Hey, Ron, did you find them? Scramble this line, Wade, Ron said, looking around the alleyway, hoping that she was still around. There was an electronic beep on the other end, and then Wade's voice returned. We're secure. She's gone, Wade. I need an ambulance here now. Shigo's hurt. Bad. Like really bad, Wade. Ron could hear the sound of keys clackling. Paramedics are on their way now, Ron. They should be here in 3 minutes. What about GT? What about GJ? You know they are going to be listening to the police switchboard, Ron countered. They're holed up on the other side of town. It will take them at least 5 to get to your location. Where's Kim? She's out. Probably happened sometime during the fight, Ron reported. It was her that she bit the crepe out of Shigo, and then she ditched the communicator. Damn, Wade said. Alright, I'll see if I'll back up any homing device up and running. With a little luck, she hasn't been spotted yet. She hasn't broken the rules, but Kim isn't going to be happy when she gets back. If she gets back, Wade replied. Ron sighed again and pulled out the clapped syringe from his pocket. She'll be back, one way or another. And when she does come back, Faye's going to wish that she's never been born. Ron's head then snapped up as he heard the sound of sirens coming closer. The medics are here, Wade, he said, pocketing the syringe. I'm going to make sure they help Shigo. Then I'll call back. Find her, Wade. Please. Don't worry, Ron. We'll find her. Both of them, Wade promised. Ron then nodded and clicked off his cell phone. He kneeled down next to Shigo. The paramedics are coming. Don't move unless you have to, okay? Shigo moaned weakly as the headlights illuminated the form. Ron then stood up and waved his arms. She's over here, hurry! The paramedics got set to work immediately. Ron then frowned as she watched them get to work on Shigo to try to move her to a stretcher. Shigo screamed again, and it was quite clear that she was going to be hospitalized for a long time. As Ron saw the antagonized expression on Shigo's face, he felt the anger and panic raising in his throat again. We're going to find you, Faye, and you will regret messing with Kim or any of us.